Howdy guys, and welcome back to CBBs.
I have good news and bad news. I'm dyslexic, so let me start with the bad news. The egg industry has lost hundreds of millions of dollars worth of livelihood this year from bird flu. At the same time, beekeepers are losing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of their own livelihood as colony collapse disorder raises its ugly head over apiaries across the nation too. The big question is what we can do to stop this. But what we also want to know is, what in the world is going on? No matter where you are in the world, chickens and turkeys are dying and bees are disappearing. Now why is that? Why are we losing poultry and bees at the same time? Now before you skip the rest of the video, I don't jump to conclusions without first examining all of the evidence from both sides of the issue. And there is something interesting about these two outbreaks that you'd probably want to know. So in the next few minutes, I will tell you what we know about bird flu and CCD, and then, based on what we do know for a fact, I will share my theory about both of these and why they might be happening at the same time, because they might be connected. Now the good news is that some poultry farms have suffered minimal loss, or none at all since bird flu started. There is no cure or treatment for bird flu. However, some farmers have practiced wearing different clothes and shoes before checking on the chickens, especially after checking the waterfowl. As a result, their birds have been fine. Likewise, some beekeepers have also been unaffected by colony collapse disorder, only experiencing 20% loss like normal, while many of their colleagues have suffered anywhere from 50 to 100% loss. Now, there are some misconceptions about CCD that I'd like to point out, so that everybody has a better understanding of what is going on. CCD is not a disease, it is a disorder. And no, it is not from chemical sprays. Even though chemicals are responsible for colony die-off, CCD is different. Pesticides and harmful chemicals lead to thousands of dead bees laying around the bee yard. It can also lead to sickness and disease that we can treat and save the bees from if we catch it in time. But there is a difference between colony poisoning and a total collapse disorder that leads to the whole hive disappearing completely. Here is an example of what CCD actually looks like. Your hive can be pretty healthy when you check it. Then after 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks, you come back to check it again, and guess what? The hive has no bees in it. There is no dead bees in the hive or around the hive. The hive has lots of food and larvae might be left behind as well. So the whole colony just swarmed away without waiting for the young bees to hatch and without taking any of their resources. They all just swarmed away, never to be seen again. That is not normal swarming behavior at all, and there appears to be no reason for the behavior. That is why we call it colony collapse disorder. It caused the hive to fall completely into disorder and leave for no apparent reason. CCD was first discovered in 2006, and this year in 2025 it is worse according to what beekeepers are reporting. CCD is triggered from something that we haven't completely figured out yet. That is why there is a lot of spitballing concerning this topic. We don't know the root cause of this, and we are trying to figure it out. There are many conspiracy theories behind this topic, but not many people have considered this thing as a possible source yet, which I will get to in a minute. Bird flu is happening at the same time, and here is what we know about it. Bird flu is H5N1, and symptoms lead to coughing and other respiratory problems. More severe symptoms lead to diarrhea and vomiting, while the worst symptoms are seizures and sudden death. Chickens and turkeys are most susceptible to the worst symptoms of H5N1. However, waterfowl appear to be immune to it, maybe only experiencing minor symptoms like sneezing, for example. But they are still contagious and can affect chickens if they make contact with them. But this is just from one strand of the main disease, HPAI. Wild migratory birds are largely immune to this disease, but they carry HPAI, H5N1 everywhere they go. And now there is confirmed evidence that HPAI not only affects birds, but it also affects a variety of other animals too, and even humans. Okay, time out. This is too much. Isn't bird flu supposed to only affect birds? I mean, It's bird flu. We have much different genetics and immune systems than birds do, and so do other animals. Yes, you're right. However, you are confusing HPAI with H5N1. Both are carried by birds, and H5N1 only affects other birds. But HPAI is what affects everything that touches it. It's called bird flu primarily because it is a flu carried by other birds, but it is not limited to just affecting birds. Now that being said, you will only know if you have it if you are medically diagnosed for it. That goes for all your animals too, because the disease is very similar to a cold or a lingering cough or random sneezing fits. The disease spreads from physical contact from the host or contact from anything left behind from the host. Any animal that typically feeds on birds can pick up HPAI if eating or touching the bird hosting the disease. For example, cats have been reported to have HPAI for this reason. They feed on birds. Here's another example. If you step on poop left behind from the host of the disease, your shoe will be infected with HPAI H5N1. And if you check on your chickens with the same shoe, they will get the disease if they peck and scratch in the area you stepped on. Not just chickens, but if you have cows and you step in the same field they graze in with the same shoe, the cows will also get the disease if they eat where you stepped. Yes, there are confirmed reports of cows having HPAI from cross-contamination like this, so it is important to watch where you step everywhere you go. Now you might think that this next bit is crazy, but you can find reports of bears and fish having been tested for it too. And guess what? Bears and fish have been reported to have HPAI. And there are confirmed reports that some of these animals and others have the disease as well. Now here is my theory about what is happening. Back in 2006, when we first noticed CCD, you know what else was going around at that time? HPAI H5N1. Yes, that's right. Bird flu. Now we are seeing CCD take a serious, devastating toll on apiaries across the nation again, this year in 2025. And what else is going around at the same time? HPAI H5N1. Just like in 2006. Is there a connection? Maybe. This is a theory that is not proven yet, but I don't think it is unreasonable to think that there might be a connection between these two things. After all, HPAI is a contagious disease amongst other animals, even though it is carried by birds. So what about bees? Now, if this is true, then just like people have to change their shoes and clothes after seeing and checking every type of animal in their farm, well, maybe we will have to include bees in that mix? We don't know. In every tunnel, there is another opening somewhere ahead. If we made it through COVID-19, we can make it through this too. This video is not intended to spread fear, but hope.